my ADHD is a superpower. It didn't used to be. I'm 52 years old. Growing up, my ADHD was not a superpower, but I want to show you with my crochet as to why I love my ADHD. And I want to show you some things that I'm working on, things that I've already accomplished. And it's real important that you understand that regardless of what your diagnosis is, whether it's ADHD, bipolar, borderline, whatever, let's lean into it and look at, hey, let's look at this and benefit us. So one beautiful thing about crochet, and I have a couple projects going that I'm going to show you. That's why I'm sitting here. I finished this, so I can't wait to show you that too. But I picked up crochet when in 2020 when COVID first happened and we couldn't leave the house. So I was like, well, I'm going to try something. And I remember years ago, my grandmother, I got to show you at some point, I got to find the blankets I put away. I only have 2 blankets from her, but they're like amazing. She came over illegally on the boat from Croatia. And that's what she did. Like she was able to just like do stuff like that to like occupy her mind. So years ago, she passed when I was in 2nd grade, but years ago, she taught me how to do a chain and I could just do one long chain. And so I remember in COVID, I was like, oh, let's do this. Now I'll tell you why I loved it for my ADHD. And I use my ADHD in my business as a superpower, in my personal life as a superpower, and in my hobbies as a superpower. And you got to have a hobby. It doesn't have to be crochet. It could be anything. But if you have ADHD, I like to have about 3 projects going at one time. For some people who may not have ADHD or feels like I have to finish something start to finish, then you can still do that. But if you have ADHD, I like to do an easy project, have an easy project going, a intermediate project going, and like an intermediate advanced project going, which I'm working on now, and I will break it down. So I just finished this blanket, and I want to tell you, I am in love with anything crochet. I will tell you, be prepared. You will go on a yarn spree. I have an entire basement, like a section of my basement that has, it looks like a little mini Michael's because I love to buy certain, and I was looking at this just now going, oh, I think I'm gonna have to buy more to finish this project. But you'll find that you'll start like really looking at quality of yarn. You'll look at different like hooks. You'll get the basic stuff. And then you'll see what works for you. You'll see what yarns you like. It's all of those things, but it's so good for the ADHD brain. So I just finished this blanket. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. So I wanted to have like my little football blanket. I change up blankets a lot. I don't just make blankets. I'm also going to make a sweater this year. I've done pumpkins. I've done like, I do other things besides blankets, but I do like to have blankets going. So when I'm sitting down, I can like occupy my brain. So I want to show you this material first. Look at this material. Isn't this beautiful? So this was a special, this is from Loops and Threads. This is the brand called Loops and Threads, which I realize is starting to become one of my favorites. I love Bernat a lot. And I do love some Karen cake yarn. I don't work with a lot of it, but I do like it for what I'm working on here. And I just got some other Karen cakes to make some hats, to make some beanies. And I want to do the braided beanies. So I want to show you this. And I did off of Daisy Farms, which I love to follow. I did this border. See how it's like a ruffle border? So look at it. And this was just a really basic. And if you guys want, let me know in the comments if you want. I'll show you some stitches. I mean, I'm the kind of person that I cannot, like looking at a pattern, I have to like go through the motions. I can read patterns now. So I know what stitches are, what that means. But my ADHD brain doesn't, it's like, oh, overwhelmed, right? So I usually like to see it. And with this new project, which is my more advanced pattern that I'm just now starting to figure out, I mean, I've spent hours on it, taking it apart, putting it back together, taking it apart, putting it back together, because it's a brand new stitch. So what crochet does is it gives you the opportunity, and you got to know, you're not going to do great in the beginning. Like you're going to have wacky edges, you're going to drop stitches, you're going to add stitches. That's okay, because you just undo it. Like I literally, the last project I'm going to show you that I'm working on right now, I've taken it apart several times. I think I pretty much have it now. Okay. But it's taken a couple of days of like hours worth of work and undoing it. And that's great. Like you need to do that. Remember, you're not going to hit things out the park, and that's okay. So this is my Loops and Threads. See, I use the blue there. See that? And this is my blanket. So when I'm sitting on the couch, this is what I do. And it's always fun also to do blankets, because a lot of times as the blankets get longer, they become like your blankets. But I love to do them for like Christmas presents and birthday presents and things like that. Okay, so I want to show you this other project. Now I have yarn everywhere. That will become a thing for you. This was, see, this was one of those things I was like, that one's not working. You'll have little pieces of yarn everywhere. So this yarn, this is from, I'll have to look. I don't know the name of it. Wait, I'm lying to you. I do know the name of this yarn because I have some sitting here. Oh, it is Karen. It's the Karen yarn. So this is the Simply Soft yarn. And this yarn, it's really like softy soft and it's light. So I want to show you what I'm working on here. This is my intermediate project. Like I said, I like to have an easy project going. I just finished this, so I'm going to start another easy project, probably be a hat or something. And I like that because sometimes I need to change around. And if you have ADHD, it's hard to just, you'll get bored pretty easy. So this is a window pane. Look at this. I'm doing a window pane blanket and I'm going to have, some nice ribbing around the side. I'm not done. I mean, obviously, this is not a big blanket. I guess it could be a baby blanket, but I'm going to make it into something else. So this is something that is an intermediate pattern that I'm working on. And this is the one that I just started. This, I'll show you the yarn I'm using on this too. Hold on. I don't want to lose my place on here because I'm like halfway through this row. But this yarn is also Karen. Oh, it's falling apart because it's like falling apart. It can't, look, this is, looks like there's a lot happening here. But this is the Karen Birch color pattern of the anniversary cakes. So it's the Karen 10-year anniversary cakes. So just FYI, and I'm thinking I might need to order more for this project. So I am working on, I know you've seen braided blankets, and I've always been like, oh my God, they're so gorgeous. I'm like, oh, let me do them. Yeah, they are not super easy. So this is not a beginner pattern or even really a beginner intermediate pattern. It's more of an intermediate advanced pattern. So I don't know if you can tell. Do you see how the braid is there? Do you see how this is going on? So this is the, I promise you it's not crooked. It's just, it's not done. And I'm going to put fringe. I'm going to do like a fringe on this one. But I figured this is such a good, and once it's out, you'll see it's all straight. But this, see how the pattern is, and this is the braid. And then the back obviously is just the back, but this is the good side. So you'll see that there's that. So what I recommend is when you are dealing with ADHD, you want to find something that isn't just self-helpy and isn't just like, oh, let me clean, cleaning's great, got to do that. And I'm working on a program for you guys for 2024 for getting simplified and organized, but doing so with that ADHD, unmotivated, overmotivated, overstimulated brain. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to know more about some of the crochet patterns or whatever, I'd be happy to show you. I mean, they're great. I love them. And I love to try really hard patterns. My biggest toxic trait with crochet is I can look at something and go, I can do that. And it's not super toxic. It's just, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go buy some more yarn and I will figure it out. I tried doing a sweater panel when I first started, like the first 6 months to a year. And you could tell it was like crooked. It was like, I was like, I would be sitting here like this if I finished it. So this year, and it's like a beautiful, like a brown neutral color, really fuzzy. And I'm excited to kind of show you that. Oh, I want to show you this, which is also Karen. I was like, I don't really use Karen. I just showed you like multiple projects of Karen. But this is the Cloud Cakes by Karen yarn. Again, I really like loops and threads. That's what this is. I love Bernat. I've done a lot of blankets in Bernat. But my favorite, I have different yarns, and you'll figure out yarns that you like. First, I was like, oh, I'm going to use this velvet yarn. And I started early on, and I think that was too much of an advanced yarn for me because I was like, I don't like working with this yarn. And there will just be some yarn that you like working with and some you don't. But I'm going to make some hats and maybe a scarf or something just for like stocking stuffers for friends or whatever. And this is the Karen Cake Cloud Cake. Oh no, you can't. I was going to say, can you feel this? No, you can't feel this. But it's so softy. But look at that color. Like, I feel like that's a nice color. You'll see I like blues a lot. And I like neutrals. But I also got a cloud cake. And I literally want you to feel this so bad. Like, I want you to feel it. It's so softy. But I got this too. See this? So, and I like that because it's the same as that. So you don't really have to worry about changing yarns. But I like With this project, the window pane yarn, you got to carry yarn and stuff, which I don't mind. I find that they're really great, and I can use different size hooks. I'm using different stitches, and it's great for the ADHD brain. So me and Michael's, we like have a thing going on. But yes, so that's how I kind of use my ADHD to my benefit. I love the projects that I'm working on. I'm enjoying them so much. And it's just made me a lot better of a person, seriously, to deal with my ADHD, because I know that I can look forward to doing it regardless of what I got going on. So I'm interested to know if you crochet, if it's something you want to do, if it's something you want more information on or more stuff. I want to be able to give you things on how I cope with things and just give you some fun things to do, because self-help is not fun all the time. So you want to make it as fun as possible. And the beautiful thing is you can give them away. It's Christmas presents, it's birthday presents, it's stuff for yourself. You see it from start to finish. You undo it, you redo it, you undo it, you redo it until you get it. And it's spectacular. So that's me and my crochet.